So this is going to be a really practical, straight to the point guide on how you can actually be consistent at doing positive things like exercising, studying, practicing your art, meditating, literally anything. Hi, my name is Laksana and I want to say thank you. Thank you for actually caring about your life, because if you actually want to change your life to the better through implementing some positive things consistently, I actually really do appreciate that. This is March 29th, 2025 and this is going to be day 264 of consistently helping people build consistency. So on today's video, basically I'm just gonna be criticizing my old videos, okay? So basically on my old videos, I really like to say, to mention about the concept of habit streak and why a habit streak is really effective. And for those of you guys who don't know what a habit streak is, basically a habit streak is just counting for how many days you've been consistently doing a particular thing without missing any single day. Okay, so basically it goes something like, oh yeah, day 30 of consistently doing push-ups every single day, day 60 of consistently, studying a new language every single day, basically like that, without missing a day. So on my old videos, I used to say that why a habit streak is really effective is that because we are going to grow some sense of attachment to the habit streak. So how does this attachment thing works, right? So for example, let's say I wanted to consistently study on a day-to-day basis and I created a habit streak about it. So let's say I've been consistently studying for 7 days straight without missing any single day, and then I go to 14 days straight without missing any single day, right? Well, I'm going to grow some sense of attachment to the habit streak itself, not wanting to go to day zero again by not doing the thing, right? I want to maintain the habit streak. I do not want to lose a day. I do not want to go to day zero again. So basically, that's the logic on how attachment can make us still be consistent, right? By not wanting to go to day zero again. We don't want to go to day zero again because we have the attachment to the streak. Henceforth, we are going to continue doing the studying. So that's the logic behind it. So it might seem, it might sound pretty, pretty make sense, right? The problem here, it lies within one assumption, right? So the fallacy behind this logic is that it relies behind one assumption, right? And the assumption is that we are still going to stick to the thing, stick to the studying, stick to the exercising, stick to the meditating, just because just because we count for how many days we've been consistently doing it, regardless whether we see any results or not. Okay, so that's basically the biggest mistake of this reasoning. Okay, so again, the biggest mistake on this logic is that I assume that we are going to still stick regardless whether we see any results or not, just because we count for how many days we've been consistently doing that particular thing. So here's the thing. Why do humans do things in the first place? Why do we do some particular thing? Why do we exercise? Why do we study? The answer is simple. The answer is simple. We do things because we expect something from it. We expect some results that we can gain from it. Oh yeah, we exercise because we want to be healthy. We want to look good. We want to be respected. The same thing with studying. Why do we study? Oh yeah, because we want to have some good grades, because we want to feel good about ourselves, right? And so on and so on. So basically, why do we actually start to be trying to be consistent at doing things on the first place, right? Is that because we want to have things, we want to gain things from that particular thing. We expect some kind of results, right? And when we don't see these results, right, when we don't see the results that we expect we are going to get from doing this thing, when we do not see it, well, the probability of us not continuing the thing is going to be higher. Probability of us not sticking to the thing is going to be higher, right? Because hey, if I don't get any results that I expected, why do I still continue to do the thing? Okay, let me give you an example. Let's say there's this one person, he wanted to start a new YouTube channel and he commit to himself that he's going to record a video every single day and upload consistently, right? And he basically create a habit streak and just track, count for how many days he've been consistently growing his YouTube channel, right? Let's say he managed today, he managed doing that thing till day 264, right? But he gotta think like, hey, you know what? Like I keep on posting every single day, but there's like none of my video even like reach 1,000 views. So why do I keep on doing this thing? I'm not getting the results that I expected to have, right? Why don't I just like stop? I'm not going to continue this YouTube channel. So that's, for example, there's a person who wanted to start a YouTube channel. He basically create a habit streak, but he stick till hundreds days, right? But he didn't get the thing that he wanted, right? So basically at this point it can be giving himself some pessimistic vibe, and basically no reason to continue to grow his YouTube channel, right? So my point here is that yes, a habit streak can be helpful. It can give us some sense of attachment to the streak, not wanting to break the streak. But I believe beside counting for how many days we've been consistently doing a thing, we also need to consistently see some progress, right? And by progress, I'm not necessarily saying like, oh, the progress needs to be linear and it's always needs to go, up upwards. It needs to always go up and up and up. No, progress doesn't necessarily looks like that. It doesn't necessarily looks like, oh yeah, from 5 to 10 to 15 to 20 to 25 to 30 and so on and so on. No, it might looks like, progress might look like something like, oh yeah, going from 5 to 7 to 6 to 7 again, to 8 to 9 to 8 again, to 10 to 11 to 12, and so on, something like that, right? So progress doesn't necessarily means that you need to always go up. Okay, so when we are talking about growth, when we are talking about progress, we are basically like convincing ourselves that basically by staying consistent at doing this particular thing consistently, we are actually gaining the results that we wanted on the first place. We are basically, getting all the results, the reasons why we do this thing on the first place. And basically, how do we actually see this progress? How do we actually track this progress? I believe we need to have some indicators to measure this, right? So there are going to be bad indicators and also there are going to be good indicators, which I'm going to explain to you guys. So for example, let's say we want to study Spanish because we want to be fluent in the language and we also want to connect with international friends, right? So the bad indicator of learning Spanish would be something like, our feeling of how fluent we are, okay? Basically, that's really abstract, okay? And really subjective. And the good indicator of learning Spanish, how we track our progress, is going to be something like, here's the thing, like how many words we can actually memorize, how many new words can we actually memorize. Let's say on the first day, on the first till the seventh day, we actually like track for how many, how many words we can actually memorize, Spanish words that we can memorize, right? And then we keep on increase the numbers of the words that we practice on a day-to-day basis, right? Maybe like every single day we learn 3 new words and then keep on repeating the old words, right? And then basically we just keep on practicing on a day-to-day basis consistently with the habit streak. And then we are going to, once we've got to day 30, or maybe like, yeah, day 30, we are also going to test ourselves how many words we've been consistently remembering. Yeah, so I changed my clothes for some reason because it's really hot here. Yeah, basically how many Spanish words that we can memorize. It's a good indicator of our progress, right? So for example, on the first week, we can only remember, I don't know, maybe like 10 words. But when we just consistently progress on the fourth week, we just keep on increasing the numbers of the words that we memorize and we practice every single day consistently. Maybe we are going to go to, I don't know, 40 words or maybe like 50 words that we can memorize, right? So basically, this is going to be a really clear sign of growth that we can actually see. And I think like this is going to be a really good indicator. And when we have a clear indicator and we see ourselves progressing, right? We are going to be having more reason to actually stick to the thing because we are going to be thinking like, hey, I'm closer to my goal of being fluent in Spanish. I'm closer to my goal to connecting with international friends, right? So it gives us more reason to stick. So my point here is that one, not only that we consistently count how many days we've been consistently doing a thing through a habit streak, but two, we also consistently need to track the progress, right? We consistently need to see the progress. So yeah, that's it, how you can actually be consistent at doing positive things. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. So also join our Discord. And for today's date authenticity post, memes are on March 29th, 2025, posted a Saratoga sparkling water post last 24 hours.